Okay.
But when we start planting at this time of year, we like to use more starts than seeds because the season only lasts till about May,
Okay.
So especially in the school. So we have cauliflower and Greek oregano, and of course we use flowers in the garden to act as natural pest control, and this is a marigold. We'll put several marigolds in the garden. And then we have red cabbage, and what else? And some parsley. And we also use a lot of herbs because herbs have a natural repellent to pests. And we do have pests in South Florida, so we have to always try to have the organic method of pest control. And then this is a totally organic garden. It's organic soil, organic seeds, as we have here, and organic plants. And we don't use any fertilizer. We only use natural fertilizer, things like compost.
And these are readily available at any garden
store, and also at farmers markets. Farmers markets are a really wonderful supply of garden plants.
Okay. And then how, once it's harvested, how do you show the children what can be done with it?
Well, that's where apparently a chef or a teacher that has some culinary skills can be helpful. But for instance, at Coral Gables High School in their culinary program, they have a fantastic teacher, and she has a garden in the back of the culinary classroom, which was planted in part by an environmental group of students also at Coral Gables High. And we felt Coral Gables High really needed some encouragement this year.
Uplifting.
And so we're having a chef that's the executive chef of Club Med who contributed to this garden, who actually funded this garden. We're having him come in to utilize some of the arugula and various other elements of the garden to make a beautiful pesto. And so I think that's going on very soon as well.
And then lastly, tell me about any experiences that you've had, any memorable moments and memories that you have as far as these kids planting these gardens, that you've seen that it's really paid off in their instance.
Well, we worked with a group of special needs children, and we didn't even know they were. All I know is that we were invited to come to at one school, and when we arrived at the school, we worked with the children, and they had a little hyperactivity problem, but they seemed much calmer working in the garden and much more interested and able to focus on the garden. And I didn't find out till later that that's the kind of students we were working with. I also feel that all students deserve to have the opportunity to have a garden, not just students that live in a certain area, not just Title I schools, not just private schools, but anybody in any school that wants one should have one. And so we have our programs in 19 public schools, but we also have them in private schools because we feel that all children have the right and need the education of where food comes from. So we like that general appeal. And in one school, a student came up to us when we were planting and said, "Are you planting any French sorrel today?" We said, "Well, where did you learn that?" And he said, "Well, I came from Cushman School, and I learned about French sorrel because we had a school garden." And I thought, how wonderful that is, So there's lots of stories out there, and they're coming in every day now that the gardens are in bloom.
And I'm sure you'll have many more now.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Donna, coming into the show and giving us more information on such a great project. And if you want more information on school gardens, you can go to the website slowfoodmiami.com. And coming up, we continue to garden. We head outdoors and answer some of your most common plant problems once and for all.
The Super Bowl is returning to South Florida, and with it, it's bringing an economic impact. I have the details.
Tango, anyone? You don't have to travel far to learn one of the most passionate dances in the world. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Coral Gables. Now we've come outdoors here to Merrick Park, which is right across the street from City Hall. But this is the site where we hold the farmers market every Saturday. Now, as part of the farmers market, you can expect a gardening workshop. And Cindy David of Living Design Nurseries also has some of the workshops, and she is here with us today to help us get through our plant problems. And we know you are out there. There's many of you that have plant problems, me included. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So tell me about some of the major ones that you've heard a lot, the most common plant
Okay,
problems.
4 of the most common plant problems. Too much sun, too little sun, too much water, not enough water. There you go. If you can conquer those 4 issues, and you've got it made.
All right, so how do you know if you've watered too much?
If you've watered too much, when you put your finger into the soil about 2 inches, the soil will be wet. Then you don't want to water anymore. If it's dry when you put your finger down 2 inches, then you know you need to water again. The other thing is, if the plant starts to die, if you water and water and water constantly, there's no oxygen in the soil for the plant to breathe, so you literally smother the plant. So you love it to death.
Okay.
You've given it too much love and it's dying on you.
And how about if it's too dry? Are there any visible symptoms?
Yes, if it's too dry, it starts to wilt, and you will see that.
Okay.
Believe it or not, this morning, this looked like cooked spinach, but I gave it some nice water before I
Wow.
brought it in, and it came right back. Being an annual, it comes back to life pretty quickly.
Okay. And then what is, you had pinched this one off, and it's pretty dry, but that's because of the cold, but that's,
This
me
is
about that.
this is from too much cold weather, and it was burned by the cold. But you can also have this if you've planted a plant that wants more shade and you've put it in full sun. The burning would do the same thing. So this leaf is a good example. This is from a coleus, so it was easy to just pinch off. And here's another one. I guess the leaves to the back is where the wind hit, and this is what happened. It got burned.
okay. Now tell me about the position, if you want to plant some of these or have a garden, does the position of the garden matter?
Yes. If you're planting annuals and vegetables, you usually want a full sun garden, because if you don't have full sun, you won't get the buds on the tomatoes and you won't get the blooms on the flowers. If you're planting more of a subtropical shade understory plantings like gingers, heliconias, ground orchids, bromeliads, they really prefer shade. So you need to know the plant or ask the person that you're purchasing the plant from, what are its needs?
Okay. And you brought some plants here, so can you go through them and tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, I can. I brought coleus because good old coleus is really easy no matter what you do. It's an annual, but you can also grow it as a perennial.
So what
It's-
is an annual?
An annual
Sorry
is
that I
one, no, that's okay. An annual is one blooming season. So it blooms through one season, like impatiens. They last a certain amount of time and then they die. That's their life. A perennial can live for many years with pruning, and it keeps coming back year after year.
And will this stay the same color?
This will stay the same color and it'll get bigger. And when it gives you blooms coming up, you want to pinch those blooms off so that all the energy does not go to making the bloom, it goes to making the plant keep growing. So you're kind of frustrating the plant and tricking it, but then it keeps growing bigger.
Okay.
And then this plant is slightly new on the market, and we're just going to knock over that mini orchid. There you go. Here, let's lean it over.
There.
Oh, it's going to stand
I'll
up
hold
for
it.
you, Belkis. Okay. This is a bromeliad, and this is a new mini bromeliad. Look, I'm cleaning it. I can't help myself. This won't get any larger than this, and it will cluster. They used to be only called fireballs, and they're acmeas, but now this is a new type that's striped and pink, and this will give, once you put it in the ground, you will have many of them, and it'll just keep clustering and getting bigger. But this is for shade. There are a few bromeliads that are for sun, but this one is for shade.
Yeah, because don't they get their nice vibrant color from the sun?
That's burning.
Oh.
And it changes to that color because it burns in the sun. So that plant that you're thinking of is Blanchadiana, and what happens is it's a green plant, but it's put in the sun, so it turns to that yellow orange.
I sort of have that at my house, so I need to
But
move
that's
it
okay,
around.
it's grown for that.